What is up, everyone? Welcome back to Let's Play Shadow of the Colossus HD. Last time, I beat the carnivorous sandworm Dirge by brutally shooting him in his big, stupid, bulbous, creepy eyes. And I killed Colossi, the not-so-colossal Colossus. Today we're going after Colossus number 12. And I bet you'll never guess where he's gonna be located. So guess where we're heading? We're heading for another lake! Another new lake! To add to the collection! Oh, come visit the Forbidden Land. Land of 1,000 forbidden lakes. Oh god, I just started thinking of the end of Alan Wake. It's not a lake, it's an ocean. So we're on our way to fight Pelagia, the 12th Colossus. And while I'm en route, I guess I'm going to talk a little bit about time attack and the time attack rewards, since I haven't yet decided whether or not I'm going to do a bonus episode with all that stuff. So time attack unlocks once you complete the game. You can start normal time attack mode by praying to the shrines in the temple on New Game Plus, and then once you beat it on hard, you can do the same thing, except in hard time attack. I don't know if I'm going to do a bonus episode with all of the time attack fights and showing off all the rewards. We'll see in the future, but for now it's up in the air. So, for every 2 Colossi you slay in time attack, you gain a new reward, and those rewards differ whether you're on normal or hard. So on normal, the rewards, I don't know if these are in order, but one is a whistling arrow, or a set of whistling arrows. They make this obnoxious whistling noise when you fire them. They do no damage, but they distract Colossi as long as they aren't already aware of your presence. So not the greatest reward. There's some cool shenanigans you can pull off with the whistling arrows, nothing amazing. There's the Cloak of Force, which increases your damage, Same for the Mask of Strength and the Mask of Power. I think I already talked about this, but there's a Lizard Detection Stone and a Fruit Tree Map. There's a really cool cloak. There's a Harry Potter Invisibility Cloak, which does exactly what you think it does. It makes you invisible to Colossi. They can track you by your shadow and the noise you make, but for the most part, their ability to see you will be greatly impaired. And the last time attack reward, I think, is the Flash Arrow, which are exploding arrows. They're pretty nifty, actually. And then the hard time attack rewards, you get into some really interesting stuff, starting with the Harpoon of Thunder. It's really cool because you can charge it and throw it. It's a harpoon, and you can hit the major weak points of Colossi, and you will do almost the same damage if you hit a weak point as a charged sword stab, except at range. It's just, the thing is, you can't kill with it, because, again, Wander's Ancient Sword is the only thing that can kill a Colossus. You can bring it down to, like, one little pinprick of a stab. There's also the Sword of the Sun, which I think is an homage to the swords you find scattered around in the castle in Ico, and they glow, it glows and focuses light better. There's also the Shaman's Cloak, which causes you to take less damage, and then, again, that's the same for the Shaman's Mask. Kind of like the Mask of Force and all that stuff from normal time attack, except in this case it's taking less damage instead of doing more. There's a Cloth of Desperation is one of the rewards, and it kind of acts as a parachute. And there are some really nifty areas scattered around the map that you can reach thanks to that cloth. Again, in hard attack, in a hard time attack, you get a fruit tree map and a lizard detection stone. And finally, the coolest reward, the final one for defeating all 16 Colossi in hard time attack mode, you get the Queen's Sword from Ico. The very same sword. So now we're just heading out towards one of the temples to trigger the introductory cutscene for this 12th Colossus. This cutscene is actually pretty long, if my memory serves me correctly. And it is introducing us to Pelagia, who is... I can't really tell. It looks like some combination of turtle, buffalo, hippo, mammoth, maybe? A bull? Then again, we already fought a bull. It's... The only reason I say bull, though, is because it's got these big glowing tusks. I've never ever been sure of what this thing is supposed to resemble. Unless it's wearing some kind of helmet. Like maybe someone used him like a tank and armored him. Makes sense since you can see he's shooting electric blasts at us. Also makes sense since something might have taken his jaw off. You're gonna see the upper half of his head more clearly once I get on top of him. It looks like something cleaved the upper half of his head off, starting from like the upper lip going up. He's these... He's these very eerie-looking exposed molars on top of his head. At least I think they are. They're some kind of teeth. There's some kind of bones protruding from its head, maybe. So this is a quicker way. It's not the quickest way to do this fight. There are some ways you can manipulate him, so you can actually get underneath him onto his belly where his weak point is, while you're swimming underneath him. This is one way you can do the fight, though. The way I just described is one of the fastest, but it's very, very finicky and hard to do. Getting up here, though, once you're on top of his head, you can hit these, what look like teeth. Again, it looks like this, what we're standing on top of, is the bottom half of his jaw and mouth. And hitting these teeth controls which direction he moves in and how quickly. The bigger sets of teeth move him more quickly and further distances, and obviously hitting the left one of the left sets of teeth moves him left, and the right teeth move him right. So the goal here is to steer him towards this platform so you can jump up. He'll usually fire off one charged blast, and then you can show yourself, and he'll rear up on the temple. And this allows you to jump onto his belly and stab away. You get a limited number of stabs off, and I think I just wasted one, not quite hitting the mark. Yeah, he'll usually give you about 2 charged stabs before he submerges you underwater again, and you can no longer grip on. There is a cool trick you can do to speed this up a little bit. I tried to do it there, but I didn't really manage to pull it off. What you can do is right before... Actually, no, I wouldn't have been able to pull it off then anyway. So at one point, he's going to try to destroy the temple, and he's going to do that by kind of headbutting it. After he takes enough damage, he kind of wises up and starts destroying the temples that you're baiting him towards. If you jump off of his belly right before he charges to destroy the temple, you can actually get right back up on top of his head again without having to wait too long. Also, I don't think it's necessarily intended for you to be able to get up on his back and his head like this. What I'm doing is I'm swimming underneath of him, and I'm kind of hugging his body to get around to his backside and climb up behind him. I don't think that's the intended way you're supposed to get up here. The idea of this fight, I think the way it's meant to be done, is you start off on the bottom floor of these temples, and kind of like the way the horse Colossus works, you hide, or the horse, or Barba, really, you hide and you try to gain his curiosity. You try to draw him towards you, and you get him to poke his head down to the lower floor so you can jump on top of it. But this way works too. You can also hit those teeth with arrows. So there's his blast. Now I should be able to get onto his stomach again for a couple more hits. Hopefully I don't waste an opportunity this time. Yep. Oh god, it looked like I wasn't going to make it for a second. And counterattack's playing. Yeah, love this song. So this seems like it could wind up being a fairly long, tedious fight. Especially considering the intended way to beat him is to wait and be patient and get him to... There, he's destroying the temple. And to get him to kind of poke his head in, which, as you've seen with the horse Colossus, it can take quite a while for a Colossus to get curious enough to come bow his head towards you. Took quite a long for Phaedra to do that. But you don't have to rely on that tactic here, which is nice. There's an alternate way to do this, which... there's also an alternate way to do that for Phaedra the horse, but it's much more difficult. It's a lot trickier to pull off with Phaedra. This method of beating Pelagia is pretty straightforward. You just swim straight underneath him, and hug his body a little bit till you're behind him. If you swim above the surface of the water, and if you swim in too wide of an arc, he can actually rotate, and he'll rotate around faster than you, making it impossible to get to his back. But all you have to do is kind of keep tight to him and swim underwater for the increased swim speed. Alright, so it should only take one more cycle of this. You can see he doesn't have a whole lot of health, which makes this not such a long fight. And we still have 2 temples left that he has not destroyed. So even though he destroyed one of them, it's not a big deal. Okay, over here. Yeah. Like I said, it is possible to actually swim directly underneath him and latch onto his belly from the very beginning. Okay. Since this Colossus is, I think, the only one in the game that does not have eyes, you could see his glowing tusks actually serve the same gameplay function that the eyes on the other Colossi do, indicating when they are becoming aggressive towards you and when they've taken damage. So his tusks, in this case, glow blue. When he's passive... Oh, shit. Is he... No, I'm ending this now. And they're orange when he's taking damage or he's about to fire a shot at you. I'm lucky I got that third hit off. God, that would have sucked if that had taken an extra cycle. Just for that one little hit. And it would have been the hit that I missed on the very first attack, the one that was just shy of his weak point. But we drove it home for yet another dead Colossus. Honestly, this is another one I was expecting to take a little bit longer. And the next Colossus, Phalanx, is almost definitely going to be a lengthier fight. So, yeah, I think that's going to do it for now. I'm not going to move on to Phalanx just yet. We'll save that for the next video. For now, that's 12 down. Only 4 to go. Only 4 left. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take it easy. Have a good one.